Hey everyone, Caleb from Caleb Beach's Trains here today, and in today's video we're going to show you the biggest layout update yet. We've officially expanded the layout by 6 inches on each side to make it a 5 foot by 9 foot layout to accommodate what my favorite feature is, a double track mainline. So let's go ahead and get into it. So everyone, you might be able to tell that there has been a lot of changes since the last layout update, and I'm super excited to go over all of them, starting with the most obvious one, that we now have a double track mainline. So what I did was I built a custom frame with my father that actually extends the layout by 6 inches on each side. And the reason I did this is to accommodate 048. I was going to go with 060, but I decided with 048 because most of the engines that I want will work on 048. And also it follows the 036 inner loop very nicely. So it's a perfect line that follows it. So now when the trains pass each other, it looks really, really nice. You can kind of see from underneath the layout here how I actually did this frame. So you've got 2x4s that are actually bolted to the side of the existing layout, and then you've got some more 2x4s that are cross braced here, and then the 1x6 trim pieces actually go on top of that. And then right here underneath it we have a piece of plywood, and then I screwed down the foam to it. So it's pretty much just an extension of how I already built the previous layout, but this is built like a tank so that when there's heavy engines and stuff, it doesn't accidentally, break the layout itself. And that's why I decided that it was good to go ahead and over-engineer it, because I did not add any extra leg supports. It just uses the 4x8 leg supports, and so far everything seems to work out. So that's why I decided to go with that design choice. And then another one of the biggest and most obvious things that you might notice is the whole backdrop has changed. The old backdrop is actually sitting back here, and this is going to be going to a good friend of mine very soon because he wanted the old backdrop. But this is a backdrop from Train Junkies on eBay. They actually manufacture a bunch of backdrops for really good prices. I believe that this backdrop was about $100, which is a really, really good deal considering the value of what you get. This thing is 12 feet long. I don't know if you can tell, but it does. It expands the whole wall here and creates super, super good shots, especially when you bend down here. You can see it just kind of fluently goes with the shot here and really just immerses you into the layout a lot more. And especially once I get the rest of this area with the extension ballasted and put grass down and trees, it's gonna look super, super nice with this new backdrop. But this backdrop is actually the Blue Ridge Mountains because I'm from North Carolina. This is a North Carolina themed layout. So I wanted something that represents North Carolina, which would be the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I could not be happier with how this looks. The old backdrop was a lot smaller. It was only 8 feet long. This one is 12 feet. So it does kind of help when you're getting shots of trains going around the corners. You have a lot more backdrop to work with. So yeah, super, super excited about how that backdrop looks. It's absolutely beautiful, and definitely go check out Train Junkies. And I will leave a link to them in the description below. And yeah, make sure to check them out. I talked about this in the previous video, but this is where the passenger station is going to be. And it does have a removable roof, so I'm going to end up putting interior details on this passenger station and also light it up. So this whole area definitely has some work to do. I had to remove the DCS Explorer that was on the layout because this thing just wasn't able to put out enough power for 2 tracks, and especially when I'm running passenger cars, which will go into the new ones that I got recently to match a certain engine. But the problem with those passenger cars is that they suck up a lot of power with the lights. So I had to actually upgrade the transformer on the layout, and special thanks to Lark, I picked this up from York. He brought it to York for me to buy off of him, and I couldn't be happier with it. Is a CW80. So far it has had all the power that I've needed to power both loops, have 2 to 3 engines running, and passenger cars. Haven't had the issues yet, but eventually it will be getting upgraded to a ZW or a GW180 just to be extra, extra safe, especially if people come over and they have running sessions on the layout and they bring engines that have more than just 1 or 2 smoke units. It's probably better to just be extra safe with that. But yeah, so we just got the Lionel Legacy base hooked into the GW80. And so far 80 watts has been plenty of power to help power the whole layout. I did have to disconnect the fancy switch I had on the side for the lights on the buildings, but that will be getting reattached here. Instead of doing it on the actual frame, I decided here is probably a better spot, just so that it's kind of more out of the way, and then I can put different controls for different things over here as well. If I can Put it back without it falling. Don't want that to fall. But oh yeah, I mean, it's just super exciting stuff. What I did for the trim here, this is just 1x6s from Lowe's, and they are very expensive. I found out really quick. But overall, it just kind of creates a nice look to the layout, gives it that finished look instead of seeing just bare foam, which even though I paint the foam, it's still better than just seeing bare foam. And I sadly could not get the metal plaques that I had on the old trim off. They're kind of like permanently nailed to it. I tried, believe me. So instead I replaced it with two very cool stickers. First of all is obviously my YouTube channel logo. Could not be happy with that. And then a custom logo that I made with the Southern Railroad and 542, of course, my favorite steam locomotive. So just a really personable sticker, and yeah, could not be happier with that. So overall, very excited to see what the future holds with this layout. And let's go ahead and get into the reason why I extended the back end of the layout more than 6 inches. The back end is actually extended 9 inches, and the reason why is because I want to put a double wide signal bridge. The problem with that is if I had extended it only by 6 inches, the edge of the table would be right here. Those double track mainline bridges need, you know, probably about out to here worth of room so that they have plenty of room to sit and not be hogging up the inner loops right here with the diamond. I didn't want it to be close and then risk clearance issues, especially if I eventually get like a line master engine, like an articulated, and it swings out. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of room, so that's why the back of this is extended. I also kind of plan to put like a coaling tower here, or not a coaling tower, but like a coaling station. I know that there's a wood kit somewhere that looks really good. I cannot remember the name of it. If you guys know the name, please let me know, because I'm on the hunt for it. You know, whatever it costs, I'd love to put that wooden coaling station right here, because right now I have a water tower, but I don't have a coaling station, and the majority of what I run is steam locomotives. So not entirely sure what I'm going to do with these two corners yet. There is masking tape laid down, and that is because it prevents the gaps in the foam from when you put scenery down. So what I do is I paint over the masking tape and then actually put the scenery on top of it. And I'll show you what that looks like over here actually. And it creates a very seamless effect. I mean, you can barely tell there's even masking tape here once I paint over it. And then, you know, you don't have to worry about it kind of seaming down into the foam unless the foam gaps are really, really bad. So it ends up working out pretty perfectly. You can see I've done it kind of everywhere here. Just to make sure that when I'm pouring scenery products, I actually discovered it earlier today when I was putting out grass in this area. You see this gap? Now I got to go back in and fill this with like a wet mixture of grass and scenic cement, just so it can plug that hole there and not, you know, not look like that. And I don't want to just put a line of bushes, because then it'll look like a line. So, but yeah, I got to get the general store rewired as well, because it's actually disconnected right now. I have to get some extension wires because the light hub module is somewhere right here, and the light wire is just not long enough. So this is disconnected for now. Same deal with the station. It's not lit up at the moment because the wires are just not long enough. That is the fun stuff about wiring, is you never really know how much you need until you are into wiring. And speaking of wiring, special thanks to Dadified, Mike. He is the one who taught me how to wire up this extension of the layout with his tutorial video, and I will link that in the description below as well. Super fantastic tutorial video, and it really helped me out with wiring this layout, just making sure that there's a 0% chance of any electrical problems. But yeah, overall, I'm just super happy with the layout so far. And I do have one thing for you viewers to help me decide, is what to put in these corners. There's about a foot by a foot of space right here to work with, right over here and over there. So if you guys know what to put in these corners, let me know. I'm thinking one of them could be like some trees, just, you know, basic scenery. And then one of them could maybe have a building. I just don't know if I want to do it on the industrial side of the layout or the town side. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. I'm always open to them. And yeah, so without further ado, I say we run some trains with the new double track mainline. Thank you everybody for watching, and have a good day.